9:15 on the morning show with Jeff and Will. We are back on this fine Monday morning. And joining us as she does every Monday around this time, it is Tina Traster from the Rockland County Business Journal. In fact, the editor-in-chief of the Rockland County Business Journal. Good morning, Tina. How are you this morning?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear us?
No, I can't.
Uh-oh, that's an issue. I see here there seems to be an issue with our hair. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. I'm noticing the problem here. It's something that I unfortunately can't fix, but our line that normally sends our audio to our phone seems to be having some issues here. I'm attempting to adjust.
Would it matter if I call back on a different line or?
No, it's our board. It's our sound board. I'm looking at it right now. But I think whatever happened, the audio is going there. At least I'm seeing from my board here. Are you hearing me?
Very fuzzily. Can you hear me?
We can hear you clearly, so that's the most important part.
Okay, I'll just get chatting then, shall I?
Give it a whirl.
All right, then. I hope everybody can hear me. So if this were a reality show, not this show, but if Rockland were a reality show, the title would be Government's Behaving Badly.
Ooh.
What we're going to talk about today is something called FOIL, which many people know is the Freedom of Information Law, FOIL. And it is a crucial tool to keep our democracy alive and well, because it ensures that governments operate with transparency, and that when anybody, you don't have to be, you all have to, just when anybody wants a piece of information, it's called foiling. You foil it. You ask that government for whatever it is, that's government business, but is also the taxpayers. The taxpayer has a right to know. Everybody has a right to know. It's a basic tenet of the way it works. But it's not working so well in Clarkstown these days, and the result is that they're being taken to court twice recently, and I'm going to discuss both cases. And when they lose their cases, they are on the hook for attorney's fees. But by they, I mean us, because they is us, the taxpayer. So the more current case, and we put this story up yesterday, involves a former town employee. His name is Eric Hammermeister Kahn, and he had been the superintendent of Parks and Rec. And the subject of why he started to become not in favor in the town is sort of a deeper story, and going to be the subject of a human rights complaint. But what happened is he started to be, I guess, in the crosshairs of the town, Clarkstown, and they started an investigation, and they brought in an independent investigator for $3,000 a day. And when the investigation, took place, it was, of course, recorded by a stenographer. So down the road, Mr. Hammermeister Kahn wanted to get a hold of that transcript, seemingly a reasonable thing. And at first, the town said, "Oh, they don't have the transcript; it's with somebody else." The stenographer. And then it went on when Mr. Hammermeister Kahn further demanded to get the tape of his investigation. They were told that it was confidential, that it was an attorney product, and that they essentially they wouldn't give him the recording of the investigation of himself. So this seems just blatantly wrong. And lo and behold, he filed an Article 78 case last December, and basically he charged that he was entitled to the transcript of the interview between himself and the town hired investigator, And, he had to go to the trouble of hiring an attorney. So that's key here. Because what ultimately happened is, I suppose it took this gentleman going to court and hiring an attorney for Clarkstown to finally fold and hand off the tape, the transcript. And we'll come back to some of the context of the transcript in a little bit. But so as this was going through the courts, Clarkstown ultimately said, well, now it's moot because, look, we handed him the transcript. Yes, but it cost Mr. Hammermeister Khan money to hire an attorney. And not only that, in cases like these, courts are inclined to award attorney's fees. And that's exactly what has happened here. Rockland County Supreme Court Justice Thomas Zugabe has said that they will be entitled to attorney's fees. The amount is yet to be determined. But the point is that it kind of sends a message, I think, that if a town is going to essentially behave badly on a FOIL, there's going to be a consequence. Now, the town has filed a notice of appeal based on a prior case, with the Ateris Bias Yaakov Academy of Rockland. You might recognize that name because that's the yeshiva that filed the $10 million Volupa lawsuit and recently settled with the town for $200,000. But even in that case, earlier, before the Volupa settlement, they had to go to court to pursue also the production of a FOIL. And they were awarded $25,000 for attorney's fees. In this case, Mr. Hammermeister Khan's attorney is seeking about $16,000 plus dollars. So this is money that somehow basically ends up with the taxpayer one way or the other. Now, any questions so far? I hope that you can hear me.
We can hear you loud and clear, Tina. Don't worry about it. But no questions at this time. I urge you to keep going. This is a lot of information everyone's having to absorb, if I can speak, at this point. I hope you can hear us.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll talk. So let me keep going just a little bit more, okay?
Perfectly fine.
Okay, cool. All right. So the disturbing thing about this case is in the court case itself, we were able to read the 84-page transcript, and it's really kind of disturbing. For one, Mr. Hammermeister Khan says that he's working in a hostile work environment. He notes that he's gay and that he's been discriminated against by the town due to his sexual preference, according to the transcript. He says that I don't know. He said he believed that he received inadequate training and he didn't get the same kind of respect from Supervisor Homan and senior staff as other department heads, and he outlines examples of this. But what really jumps out the most, and we highlight this in the story, is this dispute over because of the proximity of this incident and when he was called in to be investigated. But at the time, this winds back to March of 2023, so 6 months before the last election. And Mr. Hammermeister, his department had sent to the town, the two senior centers, a notice or an email asking to host then Democratic candidate Monica Ferguson as a speaker. Now, I don't know, it's not clear from the transcript whether she was going to talk politics or whether she was going to talk about other things that she does. She's involved in some other nonprofit. But anyway, Ferguson at the time was running as a Democrat for the town council. And basically there was a sort of a scrape up in terms of, whether or not she could appear in front of the seniors to come and talk. So there was all this kind of scrambling to figure out what the policy was in the town. And according to the transcript, Mr. Hammermeister says, there was no written policy that he would get different information, that it was either 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days before an election that somebody who's, I guess, involved in politics could come and speak to the seniors. It's all very it sounds very inside baseball, but the truth is that all of this erupted and it had political undertones right before Mr. Hammermeister was called in by then attorney Craig Johns and told that he was being investigated. On the transcript, the investigator, the neutral investigator, says outright that that there are no allegations of misconduct on anybody's part. That's a direct quote. So he was called in and he wanted the recording. So long story short is that it moved him to file an Article 78 lawsuit. The town will be on the hook for attorney's fees. It's the second time in several months where the town has done the same thing, where they've withheld information. And I guess one would hope, for the sake of democracy, that this sends a message that governments have a responsibility to be transparent, and that there's a reason why we have a FOIA or FOIL laws, and they're a very, very important tool, and it shouldn't be underestimated. The length that people or plaintiffs, I guess, or petitioners will go to force a town to do the right thing, or a village to do the right thing. And one, and this is, I know it's a little bit legally, but the thing is that with regard to the, Clarkstown in this case wanted to say, okay, well, we gave them the transcript, so we're all good here. It's moot. But the truth is that courts have held that in order to create a deterrent to unreasonable delays or denials, that the legislature has provided for attorneys, the assessment of attorneys' fees and other litigation costs, specifically in FOIL proceedings, to send a message. So I hope that wasn't all too wonky, but really an important issue, and something everybody should just, should know, that you have a right to information.
I mean, I don't know if wonky is the word I would use for it. It is a lot of information, and we value that information, Tina, and we thank you for giving us that information, Tina.
We thrive on information giving.
We thrive on it. It's what we exist for. So thank you, Tina, for giving us information on that. Tina, I did have a question. I wanted to ask you about it last week, but I didn't get a chance to. I had heard discussions of a strike happening at the Starbucks in, where is it, Nyack or Nanuet? Which town is it?
Nanuet.
Nanuet. Is that currently happening? I had only seen a post about it on Facebook. I didn't know whether that was true or not.
I saw that too, where they said that they were basically shutting down until some I guess, I don't know, whether they were unionized or what have you.
The union wasn't being recognized or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I saw that too. I don't know the status of that. Could look into that. I shall try to bring you some more information. See how important information is?
Absolutely, yes. That's why I went to you as the leading information on Rockland business. That's a business operating in Rockland County, and I want to know what's going on there. I haven't seen anything about it since I saw the initial post, so wanted to make sure that was actually happening before we brought it to our audience's attention, which obviously they're listening to this conversation now and are privy to that being a possible occurrence in the county. But now they will know for certain once Tina Traster is on the case. Thank you so much, Tina, and the folks over at the Rockland County Business Journal. If anybody else out there right now wants any more information,
rcbizjournal.com.
can you at least let me finish the sentence and then we sing it?
I was very inspired.
Also, yeah, I know. It was like you were in church, like this Holy Spirit.
Can I have one more minute?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Go riff off.
Okay, this is a shameless non-Rockland County Business Journal plug, but I am having a photography show. It's called American Beauty. It's being mounted in the Valley Cottage Library for the month of July, and I am having a reception on July 13th from 1 to 3. Come see these photos. It's sort of a different side of what I do, and I hope I'll mention it again, but I hope some of you can join us. There will be some sort of refreshments. And photos that capture, some of the beauty of American life.
Excellent. Congratulations and good luck with you on the event there.
All right.
Thanks, Tina. Thanks, Tina. And don't forget, go to rcbizjournal.com. All right, you want to do that?
Okay. How did you do it?
You got to go to rcbizjournal.com.
There we go.
All right.
We'll work on that.
Thanks, Tina.
Thanks, Tina.